You saw the gold cattiva card online, you thought to yourself, damn, I would love to have a playset of those for my Palworld deck. But you look at the price, it's $1,200. One of them even sold for $4,000 a couple days ago. And I mean, maybe you don't want to waste the down payment on a new house on your soul deck. Well, have I got the solution for you? Look, this is going to be pretty similar to CryCry's MTG proxy process, but really all you need is a scan of your card, save that to your desktop, open up a photo editor of your choice. I'm using Canva for instance, and you want the width to be 63 millimeters and the height to be 88 millimeters because that is the size of a standard TCG card, which Palworld is. Once you have that opened up, go ahead and just drag over or copy and save your new scan of the card into the frame. Just make sure it fits. It's really all you got to do here. Kind of hard to mess up. Once that looks good, here is the real bread and butter. You guys are going to go over to proxied.com, Proxied. Now this is mainly for Magic the Gathering and a little bit of Pokemon, but since the cards are the same size, the format it uses to lay these out into printable PDFs is pretty much unmatched. So when you copy over your first card, you'll just see one and a whole bunch of blank spaces, but you can just right click that and hit duplicate. Until you fill out as many as you want. I went ahead and did 2 pages, so I'd have 18 instead of just 9. Once those are all laid out, pop over here, just hit export PDF, and it's going to generate a PDF file, LOL, of all the cards you need. So right now it makes sense. We've just got 2 pages of our gold cattiva soul card. And go ahead and just send that over to your printer. I'm not a printer expert, so if you're having trouble with this step, I don't know what to tell you, but hook it up, make sure it's connected, and hit print. The default print settings are fine. You can tweak those as you go if you want. But from there, let's pop on over to the workbench. This is pretty much everything we need to make our gold cattiva soul cards at home. Look, Palworld's bootleg Pokemon, so I don't see why we can't bootleg our own Palworld cards. You really need a couple main things. Laminator from Amazon, black cardstock from Amazon, foil sticker paper from Amazon, and a few lamination sheets also from Amazon. If these look familiar to you, it's pretty much the exact guide that CryCry made for proxying Magic cards, just repackaged into a Palworld format. We've got the Epson ET8550 here. Really, you can use any printer of your choice. It's not like these scans are the most high quality in the world, especially for this first run. Without further ado, let's start with the sticker paper. Just load it into the back of the printer, and then we'll do some stuff on the computer side to get this ready to print. So I try my best not to get my dirty, disgusting fingerprints on these foil papers because a lamination sheet's going to go on top, and you don't want those smudges immortalized. I'm going to start off with just 1 piece of foil paper into the back of the printer just to make sure there's no jams and make sure our first run prints properly. Let's pop on over to the PC. So I'm on Canva, but you can really use any photo editing software you want, as long as you set the dimensions to 63 millimeters by 88 millimeters, because that is the size of a standard TCG card. Once you hit create, you'll end up with a blank ticket. I just took the scan from the Cattiva Soul card list and popped it over into Canva. So this is going to fill out the size of a TCG card. Now, and here's the secret, go over to Proxied, Proxied.com. Now this is mainly made for Magic the Gathering cards, but you can upload your own scans and it works just fine, especially if it's the same size. So this is how we're going to make a PDF that prints 3 by 3, and it'll give us just enough room to fit 9 cards on a single page. So I'm going to go ahead and print 2 sheets just for demonstration purposes. Once you get these lined up, for instance, if you put your first one on, drag it over, upload it, you can just right click and hit duplicate to fill out those spots. Not too bad. Once you're done with that, all the defaults over here are pretty much fine. You can just go to export PDF, grab your PDF, and from here, we're going to print to our printer. Now, I'm not a printer troubleshooter, so I can't help you out if you can't get it to print, but I'll tell you what, once you have it set up, it is pretty easy. Just select your printer, all pages, 1 copy, in color, and hit print. All right, so it looks like our printer thinks it's out of paper. Let's tell it we've loaded it and let it do its thing. Hopefully these things come out all right. Really not expecting too much for our first run, but I guess we'll see. And look at that. We might as well have a money printer on our hands. Not the best in the world, but hey, compared to paying $1,100 for just one of these online, Not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other sheet printed, and then I'm gonna show you guys what to do next. And now that your prints are complete, what you're gonna wanna do is put these back to back, get them about as even as you can, and then wrap them in the laminating paper and then pass them through your laminator one time. Now this process is definitely easier said than done. Sometimes it is hard to get them lined up just right, but with a little trial and error, anything is possible. So I'll just open it up like this, get my papers as about as even as I can get them, and slide them into the top. All right, so you're gonna wanna try to get them as even as you can. If they're not perfectly even, it's totally fine. It's not like we're cutting through both of these sheets at the same time. These are gonna get stuck on cardstock in the next step. So I'd say as long as they are relatively even, you're good to run them through your laminator. I like to hold the front as it comes out just to make sure the cards don't bend any more than necessary, because they are pretty flimsy without the cardstock back. Should just take about 30 seconds here. All right, we are laminated and they're looking better than ever. So now all that's left to do is cut these guys open, separate the lamination packet, and stick these guys with the lamination on the front onto some cardstock. Whoa. Now these first few initial cuts do not need to be the most precise in the world, as long as we are getting rid of that lamination on the side so we can open up the cards. That's really all we need. So let's go ahead and get these guys cut off. We'll pop on over to the next step. All right, so you'll end up with the front side laminated and the back side just peel and stick sticker paper that we can stick onto some cardstock. I like to start by just peeling the top back, aligning it, and then peeling as we go as it's lined up. So let's start by getting these pretty even on the top, sticking those down, and I'll pull the paper from the bottom while I flatten it out with my hand on the top. Not too dissimilar from applying screen protector onto a phone. All right, not bad for our first sheets, and this is what's gonna give us that TCG card thickness and pop. We've got our two sheets. Now it's time for the precise cutting. Now the default setting on Proxy is gonna leave you with these very light green guide marks, and that's what I'm going to use to line these up with my cutter and get these cut out to TCG card sizes. And this is honestly the most tedious part of the process, and it does take a little practice to get those corners lined up just right, but once you do, look at that, just saved ourselves $1,200. Now let's print the rest of this money. Now the only thing left to do is to round out those corners. I got this corner clipper from Amazon, and I like to use the small clipper setting. Now it's not exact, but it's so close that as far as for proxy purposes go, it really doesn't matter all that much. So let's go ahead and get these corners clipped, and we'll see what they look like in a sleeve. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Let's see how they compare to a regular TCG. Now they're just a little bit thinner. They do snap back really nice. I would say they're not quite as thick as an official Palworld TCG card. And of course we did nothing to the back of the card, but once they're in a sleeve, I mean, they look beautiful. Look at that. And there you have it, an entire playset of gold cattivas. I just saved you guys a down payment on a house. Not that anyone can afford a house in this economy, but hey, these look great. I'd say the feel in the hand is pretty similar to a standard TCG card. If anything, maybe just a little lighter. They do snap back just fine, so if you're one of those dudes who love to flick cards on the table, got you covered. Man, look at that. We got gold cattiva at home, so I hope this was helpful to you guys. You don't really got to go out and spend $2,000 on the aftermarket for a card. I mean, support them as they drop these products, but I mean, if they're going to be selling for 10 times what they're worth on the day that they drop, I don't know. If you like to play a physical game, maybe this is a better route for you. But yeah, we got gold cattiva at home. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next one.